Well, good evening and good to be with you again on Geelong Newsbeat. I noticed on the weekend that Mr. Gordon Ramsay is going to introduce some video games, maybe with or without the what we euphemistically call these days the coarse language. I really wonder whether Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares and the associated programs would be as popular as they are, or certainly wouldn't have made the headlines that they have were it not for the language that he uses. I must admit I've only seen it a couple of times and turned it off pretty quickly. Maybe that puts me in the minority, and maybe for some in the Wowser group. But somehow or other, the whole question of language, how we speak to one another, what we accept in terms of media, whether it's radio, television, or whatever. We've probably had to put up with all sorts of language in the movies for a long time. But I'm not quite sure it's taking us in the direction that we should. We're very worried, of course, about violence on our streets, and as we very well should be. Interestingly enough, a lot of that violence is often accompanied by language, because it's all an expression of disrespect and disregard for one another. Sure, getting belted up is physically is probably a lot more damaging in many ways than being verbally assaulted, but not necessarily. You take some people who've been on the end of a really vicious verbal assaults, and it can damage them quite substantially. It can harm relationships, it can sever friendships, it can even end marriages. There are so many areas in which the way in which we express ourselves in dealing with one another can have a long and lasting effect. And the current trend to just accept what is known on the video packages as coarse language as being quite okay, even to coming into our living rooms. And I was watching Australian Story a month or so back, and some of the famous words were dropped very early in the program. They didn't have to be. They could have easily been edited out, or that particular part of the interview need not have gone to air. But the ABC, using your money and mine, chose to do that at 8 o'clock on a Monday night. Not good enough for mine. I just think it demeans what we are and who we are to one another. People will always swear, particularly under provocation. Doesn't mean we should give the good housekeeping seal of approval to it. Most of us have a certain amount of control. Hopefully all of us have a certain degree of control over what we say. We may speak differently in front of our mates than we might in front of a parent or people that we respect greatly. And that indicates that we can control it when we want to. Maybe we need to control it a lot more, and certainly with programs like Gordon Ramsay going to air regularly, what are we going to expect from children who watch that, who are growing up now, considering that that's just the ordinary way in which people talk to one another? You might say, well, that'll just get into normal language. Well, and then something else will be developed and come into our language as a way of expressing disregard, even contempt for one another. It's not a happy trend, and ultimately it does cause a lot of damage. For mine, I think we should start to curb this a bit. I'm not sure how we do it, but certainly as citizens, as viewers, as listeners, maybe we need to say that enough is enough before the damage that we do to one another and to our society gets even more out of hand than it is at the moment. Good to be with you on Geelong Newsbeat.